Have you ever felt completely stuck? You have big dreams, but you keep pushing them off. You say, someday, but someday never comes. You know you have potential, but you just can't seem to move forward. If you've ever felt this way, stay with me, because this story might completely change how you see yourself. In a peaceful village nestled between golden hills and flowing rivers, there lived a young man named Kael. Kael was 27 years old, full of ideas, and always talking about his future. He would sit with friends and describe his plans in perfect detail. One day, he'd say, "I'll build the biggest library in this region. People will travel from distant towns just to read here. My name will be remembered for generations." Everyone admired his vision. They nodded and smiled when he spoke, but years passed and nothing changed. While others worked their land, built their homes, and grew their businesses, Kael remained exactly where he was. His hands were soft, his fields sat empty, his dreams stayed locked inside his head. One afternoon, an elderly woman named Mira passed through the village. She was known across the land for her wisdom and her honesty. She noticed Kael sitting under a tree, staring at the horizon. She sat down beside him and asked gently, "Young man, what are you looking at?" Kael pointed toward an empty plot of land nearby. "That's mine," he said proudly. "One day, I'm going to build something incredible there, a place that will change everything." Mira studied his face for a long moment. Then she asked a simple question. "If that land could speak, what would it say about you?" Kael blinked. He had no answer. Mira continued softly. "The land doesn't care about your dreams. It only remembers what you've done on it. And right now, it remembers nothing." Kael felt something shift inside him. He wanted to defend himself, to explain that he was waiting for the right moment, but the words wouldn't come. Mira reached into her bag and pulled out 2 small pouches. She placed them on the ground between them. Inside these pouches are 2 different kinds of seeds. One is the seed of intention, the other is the seed of hesitation. Both will grow, but only one will give you what you truly want. Kael frowned. "Seeds of hesitation? What do they look like?" Mira smiled. "You've already planted them. Every day you sit here imagining your future, those seeds are spreading. They grow fast, and they grow quietly. Soon they'll cover everything." She stood up to leave. "The seeds of intention are harder to plant. They require you to get your hands dirty. They demand that you fail, get up, and fail again. But they're the only seeds worth growing." That night, Kael couldn't sleep. He kept hearing Mira's voice. He walked to his empty land under the moonlight and stood there for a long time. The soil was dry and hard. Nothing had grown there in years. He knelt down and touched the ground with his bare hands. For the first time, he realized something painful. He had spent so many years planning his big moment that he had missed thousands of small moments. Every sunrise he slept through, every afternoon he wasted, every evening he spent talking instead of doing. Before dawn broke, Kael made a decision. He walked to a neighboring farm and asked for help. An old farmer named Tomas agreed to teach him. The first day was brutal. His back ached, his hands blistered, his muscles screamed, but he kept going. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the hard ground began to soften. Tiny green shoots appeared, then more, then a field full of life. 2 years later, travelers passing through the village would stop and admire the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. Fruit trees heavy with harvest, rows of vegetables stretching towards the sun, and in the center a small wooden structure that Kael was building with his own hands, the beginning of his library. One evening, Mira returned to the village. She found Kael sitting among his trees, tired but peaceful. She sat beside him without speaking. Finally, Kael broke the silence. "You asked me what my land would say about me. I think I know now." Mira raised her eyebrow. Kael smiled. "It would say that I finally showed up." Here's the truth, my friend. Dreams are beautiful, but they're also dangerous.
they can become a hiding place, a comfortable excuse to avoid the discomfort of actually trying. You can spend your whole life dreaming about who you want to become without ever taking a single step towards becoming them. Every day you wait, hesitation spreads. It looks like preparation, it feels like patience, but it's really just fear wearing a mask. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of discovering that your best might not be enough. But here's what Kael learned. Your best doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to show up. Not tomorrow, not next month, today, right now, in this moment. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to put your hands in the soil and start. The ground doesn't care about your plans. It only responds to your presence. If this story touched something in you, if you recognized yourself in Kael, do one thing right now. Don't wait, don't save this for later. Take one small action towards your dream today. One seed, one step, one moment of showing up. And if you want to keep growing, if you want more stories that push you towards becoming who you're meant to be, hit that subscribe button. Join this community of people who are done waiting and ready to build, because your future self is counting on you to start today.